Nigeria have been beaten in the Africa Cup of Nations final, losing 2-1 against the host Cote d'Ivoire, meaning their time in the competition comes to an end with a loss in the final. It is a hard one to take, but this is the match reaction, the last match reaction of this series, and we're going to be obviously talking about how the game went, how I feel like Nigeria personally lost, and what's going to happen going forward. So let's get into it. Bao my people, Oroki Mini, Najib Talks Ball, back with another match reaction. Nigeria have lost the Africa Cup of Nations after having a near perfect run and they stumbled at the last hurdle. Let's just talk about the game. But to be honest, straight away, Nigeria were on the back foot. Ivory Coast started strong. They had the majority of the ball. They were having the chances. Sebastian Allaire, 10 minutes in, had a chance. Adingra again caught Aina napping. He had another chance. And, their defense was not as tight as it was in like the previous games throughout the campaign. And what we saw as the half went on is that the line kept on dropping deeper and deeper and deeper. And naturally, when that happens, you're just gonna allow traffic into the box. And when you allow traffic into the box, it means shots are gonna be let off. It means chances are gonna be given. The wingers are gonna get space out wide, and it also means that your striker is left isolated. And we saw a lot of that from Victor Osimhen. But in the first half, Nigeria did get a goal, and Captain Troost, he stepped up. He got the goal from a corner, a powerful header into the top left corner. The keeper couldn't do anything about it. And for me personally, I thought after they got their goal, that they will build on it, like not go back into the shell, because that's what they were doing. They went back into the shell. He scored the goal, brilliant goal. You would think, alright, cool. We're 1-0 up. Ivory Coast under pressure. Let's get on the ball. Let's pass it around and let's string a few passes together. But no, instead, Ivory Coast came on the front foot again. Obviously, the home crowd is there, so it is harder to play under the pressure, and it is a final as well. But these are experienced pros. A lot of them play for the Premier League. A lot of them play for the Serie A. A lot of them play in the top 5 leagues, top 6 leagues, and you would expect them to show a lot more composure when they had the ball. But to be honest, that there was no composure. Lookman was poor, who I thought like throughout the campaign he was top, but he was poor. Dingra was cooking Aina throughout the whole 90. Calvin Bassey looked shaky on the ball. Sunusi like these last few games he's been very bad, man. Like even throughout the campaign he's been poor, but obviously the players around him did bail him out. But last night he was poor once again. Iwobi again, like for me personally, he looked like he was hiding the ball. Onyeka, I'll give it to him. He was trying in it. He was pressing. He was trying to support Osimhen. He was winning the loose balls. He was trying to like show for the ball, get on the ball, get in the pockets and play it to the wide men. Chukwueze, he started decent, but then as the game went on, it drifted. And luckily it was still 1-0 to Nigeria in the first half. But what you would expect from Pesero is to go speak to them, change it up a bit. Like you're 1-0 up. Let's try get another goal so we don't have to defend a slim lead, a slim margin. But instead, what he decided to do was he decided to adopt a 9-1-1. You get what I'm saying? Like I was seeing a back nine. Like there was 9 of them, just one. There was one there, and there was Victor Osimhen at the top. Like they intended to play a 5-4-1, right? Which fair enough. But at times it was a 6-3-1. At times it was a 6-3, huge gap, and after it was a 1. Even Victor Osimhen isolated. And last night I was seeing a lot of hate from Victor Osimhen. But genuinely, he was 3-on-1 against the centre backs, which he was bullying. Anytime he got the ball in the channel, it wasn't even a good ball. It was one where he had to chase it. Like it's like the centre backs were always gonna get first, but he was always gonna like chase it and try to do what he can. But obviously they scored around the 60th minute. Frank Kessie from I believe a corner. I think Adingra crossed it in. Nobili, who has been top this whole competition, was hesitant. He came out for a second, then he stopped because he realised he couldn't get it. That left the goal open. Kessie unmarked at the back post, headed it in. But it was still 1-1, and Nigeria could still go on to win the game. And that's the thing that's annoying, because yes, Nigeria were poor throughout like the first 60, 70 minutes, but it was 1-1. Like they had the players on the bench and on the pitch to change the game. All Pesero had to do was grow some cojones, grow some balls and tell his players to, alright, cool, let's get the wings backs a bit higher, let's push the line a bit higher, let's try getting the ball, let's slow down the tempo and let's pass it about. But instead, after that goal, what happened? They dropped even more deeper. So Now they have 6 or 7 players in their own box, camping at the edge of their box, and they're trying to keep the ball out. But you could only do that for a certain amount of time, especially with home pressure. It's like the home crowd suck the ball in. Sebastian Aller with a beautiful, beautiful finish, by the way. Adingra, once again, he cooked Taina on that left hand side. He cut it back, and Aller got in front of, I think, Troost Ekong, and that finish, like, it looks easy, but that's an incredibly like good finish. And after it went 2-1, like from me personally, I knew the game was over. I didn't really have hope in Nigeria scoring a goal, because you can't switch from being so defensive, being on the back foot for 60, 70 minutes, and then, like, you switch your game plan straight away in the last 20. Like, obviously, lost, and it is heartbreaking, but for me, as much as I want to blame the players, I can't. I feel like before the game even started, they were set up to fail. Obviously, what Pesero is going to tell them, we're never going to know. What he said in the dressing room, what he set up, his tactics, we're never going to know. But what we can only judge from is what we see on the pitch. On the pitch, we saw a naive team, a team that had an abundance of talent, but the manager was scared to use that talent and maximize it. The likes of Victor Osimhen, Lookman, Chukwueze, Simon, Mofi, Iheanacho. Then you move into the midfield, Yusuf, Iwobi, Onyeka, Onyedika. Then their backline, which has been solid throughout the whole campaign. Pesero should have, again, as I said earlier on, he should have grown some balls, because Ivory Coast were vulnerable, but Nigeria didn't even test them. Ivory Coast throughout the whole tournament have been conceding goals. Throughout the whole tournament, Nigeria had one chance, and in that one chance, they scored the goal. If they created 3 or 4 chances, what would have happened? Ivory Coast would have went on the back foot, and Nigeria would have had a chance to actually win that game comfortably, to be honest. But again, the players let down the fans, the manager let down the fans, and to be honest, going forward, I think Pesero will either leave. I think he will leave because, yes, they lost in the final, but he got to the final in the first place, where a lot of fans and the media were saying they weren't going to get there. So I think, out of respect, the Nigerian board or Nigerian FA won't sack him. They'll let him leave. But going forward, what I want from, like, the manager of Nigeria, like, obviously in the next competition, I think the next competition obviously next year is 2025, and they also got the World Cup in 2026. I feel like what they need as a manager is someone who ain't scared, someone who use the talents at their disposal, because they have very good players, and find the best system to make sure that, number one, like, they're actually playing the football that they want to play and playing the football that suits the team most, and number two is someone who ain't scared to make big decisions, big changes, especially in the big moments. But yeah, obviously it was a near perfect run until they fumbled at the last hurdle. That obviously is my last match reaction as well. I've written a match report on my Substack, so please do check that out. There'll be links in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, read my match report on the Substack. And obviously, I will be back with other content, so make sure to put on post notifications so you know when I'm going to upload and what I'm going to upload. But anyways, I've been Najib Talks Ball, and I'm out. Peace.